Cowboys, and I think you've made reference to this, and so I just want to get the feeling of the Tolos, the Tuolos, and everybody else is, do you have absolute confidence in the Dallas Cowboys with their first-round pick?
I do.
Yes.
And you think that is well
We've
deserved?
disagreed, Corey, with Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
We've disagreed with
Travis Frederick.
Right?
Yeah.
We've disagreed with certain situations. I don't think we disagreed on CeeDee Lamb. We thought that was a great pick. But we've had times where, like, I don't think they did good here. And then you watch the guy play their rookie year or second year, and you're just like, they were right. Now, after the first round, they get more common, I would say, in the draft.
Since Will McClay has taken over, and I believe Zach Martin was his true first one.
Yes.
The Taco Charlton is about it. Like that's one where somebody walked into the room. Will take and say, that's me. Because ultimately he has the final decision on that, I guess. I'm telling you, Jerry, you need to take this guy. But they allowed that to happen. And I think some people sit back and go, they don't love the Zeke one, but man, there were a few years where you loved the Zeke one.
Yeah.
Right? It was the contract that you didn't love.
I stand firm that drafting Zeke was not a mistake. It was that contract.
Zach Martin, Byron Jones, Zeke, Taco, Leighton Vander Esch, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, Tyler Smith. I mean, since he's taken over,
we didn't like Tyler Smith. Let's be honest. We weren't like that crazy about Tyler Smith.
There was a lot of, who?
Yeah.
What?
Right.
Why?
And it looks like it just through 1 year. And so I know Pro Football Focus had put out their best and worst at drafting in the first round. Big shocker. The Raiders are one of the worst, but they put the Cowboys as their flat out best at drafting in the first round since 2014. And I was just curious going into this draft, if everyone has confidence that it will work out. And from the 817, somebody immediately says, unless the Cowboys go tight end, I'll have faith in the pick. And that's what my son thinks as well, because I told him I thought tight end was definitely in play.
I think
so it's funny because
smoke screen.
That's who now I want. Doing my very, very, very little research in this draft. I feel like Dalton Kincaid looks like a great pick for the Dallas Cowboys. I get Ferguson. I get the shot guy. But
Kelvin Joseph.
No. Not Kelvin Joseph. I get it, what you're doing. Fergus shot.
Yeah.
But
Peyton Hendershot.
Yes. Dalton Kincaid, watching highlights without watching all the game stuff that I know that Broadus and Chiafalo and Bobby Belt and all those guys are doing, is he does look special. He does look like a game-changing tight end, way better than Dalton Schultz. And Dalton Schultz was good.
Yeah.
What if we get great? And Ferguson is good. And you do play two tight ends quite a bit. And there's injury stuff there. So I'm not saying he's the only pick and I won't be happy with anything else. But if the Cowboys do at 26, take Dalton Kincaid, I would be very happy with that pick.
Just in your history of, and I guess maybe Andy Reid has a really good concept here, but in the history of the West Coast offense, because Mike, maybe you remember better, were there great tight ends in the West Coast offense?
I feel like Dwight Clark, one of the first ones ever. Chimura was a good tight end with Green Bay for a long time.
I forgot about him, yeah.
I do feel like tight ends play a major role. If you're saying Andy Reid runs somewhat of a West Coast system, because isn't he kind of from that tree?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he has a great tight end right now, so I do feel like tight ends are used very valuably in a West Coast system.
Now, take this for what you will. This is the brilliance of media. I will read it, and you tell me if this is just excellent or if this is passive-aggressive.
Okay.
So he quote tweeted Sportico, who had tweeted out 20 minutes before him. Josh Harris's group is, in fact, nearing a deal to buy the Commanders for just under $6 billion, sources say. Nothing is final or has been sent to the league. The bid still must be submitted and approved, but it is getting closer. Is that just quality reporting, or is that being like, no, I knew this, but it's not official, and there's nothing done?
I will say the tweet I saw from him earlier was about Odell Beckham Jr.'s wearing number 3. So I think he's like, oh crap, hold on, somebody got me on this one. But a lot of times, Kevin, they don't want to announce that until it is like concrete.
Paperwork's
Paperwork's about to be signed. Everything's approved. So I get it. But yeah, there you are. You have that information.
I mean, if it's true, like that's a great breaking story for Sportico, as it sounds more and more like it is. And when they say under $6 billion, does that mean it's going to be $5.9 billion? And you're going to be like, wow, that's still a lot. And then remember that that's the difference of $100 million. Like, that's crazy, right?
He's worth $5.9 billion. Josh Harris.
So one of the other investors is a billionaire.
So he's got two billionaires involved,
at least,
and Magic Johnson,
who has probably $1 billion. He's got I think so. He's got a crap ton of money.
And his first contract in the NBA was a 30-year, $30 million contract.
Yeah.
After his rookie year, he signed a 30-year, $30 million contract. Not 30 a year, just $1 million a year. Obviously, that got redone.
I believe that is correct.
Can you imagine if we signed Luka right now to a 30-year contract? I know you can't.
Oh my gosh. Would you have to give him $1 billion? I mean, you definitely.
I guess at the rate that money's going right now, obviously you'd say we're going to give you to maybe correlate that to what Magic got, you'd say $50 million a year.
Yeah.
So what's 30 times 50?
So $1.5 billion.
So you'd give him a 30-year, $1.5 billion contract.
Holy moly!
I don't know how much he has in still with this company, but Apollo Global Management is the company he co-founded.
Oh yeah,
is that Magic Johnson?
Josh Harris. $548 billion of assets under their management, including $392 billion in credit.
That's
so if you're in a credit situation, he's probably got your money.
They're busy. Don't go don't go to them. They're busy. And then somebody brought this up. Here's a question for you. What if they pick a quarterback? If the Cowboys picked a quarterback in the first round, I would assume Hendon Hooker. That would be shocking. That would overshadow Will Levis and Anthony Richardson. It might not overshadow Young and Stroud if they go 1 and 2. But if they took Hendon Hooker, forget it. If you play offensive or defensive line and you got drafted in the first round, nobody's going to talk about you at all. Forget it.
Yeah, no. If Jerry wants the splashy headline,
I would be shocked.
That's it right there.
By that,
everybody would be like, "Can you believe the Cowboys took a quarterback?" I do see a lot of mock drafts going, "Oh my gosh, watch the Cowboys trade up and do such a Cowboy move," and I'm like, "Come on, man." Jerry is doing a really good job of letting Will McClay and Steven rock this thing, and they're doing really good at it. I think right now Jerry's probably sitting back going, why would I change anything right now? Just let this thing ride.
And then, of course, this is a great question. Somebody asked, what's the sales tax for buying the Commanders? All right, so I don't think it works like that.
If you're in a state where there's no state tax, does it matter?
Yeah, and I don't know the sales tax from Washington, D.C. versus where they're buying it from, but it would be about $500 million. Would be the tax.
What if you get a loan just for that? I've seen this on real estate shows. What if you go straight cash, homie?
Yeah.
Then you get to cap it
That'd
right
be
at
Randy Moss buying the
$5.9
team.
billion.
Does anybody have that in straight cash?
Yes, Bezos does.
Walter White. I don't know. We're the KNC Masterpiece right here on 105.3 The Fan.
Just remember where you came from, Bezos. And it ain't Washington, D.C.
I haven't confirmed that it's
Somebody said his brother graduated from TCU.
The reason Bezos has all that money,
you're still not saying
he's a maverick.
Okay, coming. Whoa.